Diamond Abbey Speaks World. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today I have a very special guest. In my last video, I promised you that I would start interviewing, I would start collaborating, I would start going to the masters of our time, the people who are experts in their various fields. And today I am privileged to bring to you somebody who has done just that, specialize and master his game. Let me read a little bit about this person to you. He is a lawyer, meaning his primary academic training is in law, with specialization in matrimonial causes and intestate succession. He has interest in human development and social mobility, which led him to study anthropology as a tool of conflict resolution and human capital analysis. His inquiry into the source of creative impulses led him to self-tuition in the history of arts and art design. He is a virtual artist who has held and participated in numerous exhibitions in Nigeria and in the diaspora, leading on to the membership of the Society of Nigerian Artists. He was the vice president of the Galleries of Association of Nigeria and a fellowship of the International Visitors Group of the United States Public Affairs Department. Ladies and gentlemen, all my viewers, I present to you Mr. Richmond Daminabo Ogolo. Okay, welcome to my show, welcome to the Diamond Abbey Speaks platform.
Thank you, it's a privilege.
Thank you for honoring us with your presence today. So, can you tell me a little bit about yourself, who you are, your childhood days, where you're from, or where you would say you are from?
I'm from Rivers State in Nigeria. I was born in post-independence Nigeria in the 60s, and consequently my childhood saw me through the Nigerian Civil War, the post-war years, the reconstruction plan, and the model for advancing Nigeria into the world stage, as it were, as we currently speak.
Wow. Wow. So what is your idea or your view of being a Nigerian war child of the Nigerian Civil War?
Well, coming from the, so to speak, middle class segment of Nigerian society at the time, life was good. Our parents had come from, some from the diaspora, from the United States, from training in the United Kingdom and other countries.
Yeah.
They were looking forward to a bright Nigeria. And it so happened that that period was just after the civil rights movement in the United States, and there was this awareness of, or the concept of intellectuals coming back to build their country after independence. So it was a lively environment. There was lots of laughter. There was lots of intelligent talk between academics. Some were university lecturers, others were poets. Christopher Kibo, Wole Soyinka was on one side, Chinua Achebe on the other. And it was just this vibrant scene of exchange of ideas and, based on the willingness to build a brand new country. Everybody was optimistic. Well, on that, that's on the intellectual side. On the political side, there was confusion. Which party do we belong to? What are the political ideologies that we want to adopt? And the parliamentary system, which the political class tried to imbibe from the former colonial master Britain was not perfect. And so there was a lot of upheaval between different political interests, tribal interests, religious interests, culminating on unrest during around the period of the 1966 election. And spinning from that was a lot of political clashes, groups confronted each other, political parties fought for space, for the domination of political space. And so the military class, who incidentally were also products of this civil rights movement, black emancipation, Pan-Africanism, decided that it might need to erase this political class and replace it with some degree of order. And in the coup that ensued, the young military chaps, probably out of, I don't think out of intent, but out of consequence, seemed to be polarized in the way they went about it. And so, but of course, our post-colonial or colonial master didn't think it was in their interest for the country to disunite, because a united Nigeria meant that the country will be intact for political, economic, and social exploitation, which was in the interest of the colonial master. Those are the classic terms of reference for neocolonialism. So within their propaganda structure, they highlighted the differences, and of course that led to conflagration among the peoples of Nigeria.
Wow, wow. What was the experience for you and your family during that time, during the time of the war?
Well, I wouldn't say it took anyone by surprise, because it had been an ongoing progression into disarray. But at the same time, it kind of caught, because everybody expected that there'll be some type of mediation between the quarreling factions. I would say in that case, Northern Nigeria and Eastern Nigerian government. But attempts to reconcile them on whatever the issues were broke down, even more so because the British government discouraged any form of dialogue or plebiscite or referendum on what the people really wanted. So the discussions that went on and leading on to the Abbey conference in Ghana were not encouraged at all. And so the Nigerian government issued an ultimatum, which the Eastern government felt it wasn't obliged to comply with, seeing that Eastern Nigerians had been killed in a program in Northern Nigeria. There was no guarantee of safety, which was what the Eastern Nigerian government insisted on, and so the first shots of war were fired. We as children, of course, we became refugees. We had to move from city to city. At some point, the British government, in collaboration with the French government of the time, I think Harold Wilson, they knew what they were doing. They blockaded the Bight of Biafra, and so medical supplies, food supplies were not coming through. And so Biafra basically self-strangulated at the expense of the masses.
Wow. Wow. Do you think, where do you see Nigeria today? Do you think they're heading towards the same dilemma? as in the 60s?
I don't think the circumstances are the same. Now we have more socio-economic interest in making sure Nigeria does not fail. I think that is my own optimistic take. The stakeholders in Nigeria are not just Western stakeholders. They are also Nigerian stakeholders who are interested, big business, Nigerian big business, who are interested in making sure the country works. It has to work so they can continue to make money. The diversion seems to come from the political class, but at the end of the day, we Nigerians who live in the country, we see that when the interests are common, we don't quarrel. I think we have a tendency to stoke up agitation as a means of negotiation. So I think Nigeria is just basically in a stage of negotiation about what we want, how we're going to get it, and where it's going to lead us.
Awesome, awesome. And do you see the Nigerians, as far as the different ethnic groups, the Northerners, the South, do you ever see us uniting as one people under one flag, Nigeria?
Like I said earlier, the basis for unity is there. On the streets, Nigerians are not really disunited on the streets. The political class gives the impression that we have conflicting tribal, religious, and political interests, but it doesn't necessarily translate to that on the streets. We're intermarrying, we're doing business with each other. There are certain areas of specialization that we all respect. The Northerners are agrarian, the Easterners are mercantile, the Westerners are finance oriented, so to speak. So it's a union of happy people, at least that's what I think. But the political class, when it wants to exploit the tensions, of course, within every family there must be tension. You can, if you have a family that does not have conflicting interests sometimes, or disagreements, then it's a facade. We know where we disagree, but essentially, I think we have more points of agreement than disagreement. So we're just a couple of years old, post-independence. So we're going to have our teething problems. So I have a
very optimistic
view
very optimistic view.
Yes, about where we're going.
So you heard it. Being a war child myself, born in the Nigerian Civil War, you've heard it from the expert himself. And his take on how it came about, what happened, and where he sees Nigeria going. Next week, we'll be talking about relationships. Remember, he's a matrimonial lawyer. He'll have some good insights for you lovebirds. Peace.